Hello, welcome to the mouth of Manliness. I've got a new guitar. Can you see? We still want free guitars.
Send us a Fender.
You're welcome. It's fucking amazing guitar.
Solid, isn't it?
It's huge.
It's got a lot of presents.
It has.
Yeah, it has got a lot of presents. I'm well pleased with it. Yeah, so I got a new guitar. So, before Christmas, so I'm quite happy about that.
You're lucky, isn't you? You must have been on
right.
Santa's good list.
You've been a good boy.
Yeah.
I've still got a selfie, haven't I? So I haven't been that good. But
Drugs.
my wife let me send savings on it
Ah.
on the condition that I repay them. And I'm like, I can sell some guitars.
Yeah.
They're all like worth loads more than I bought them for. Right, so yes. The hour starts.
It has.
It starts right now. We talk for an hour. When it ends, when the bell goes off, we stop. I am Nick Noyes. This is...
Brad Acton.
We have some guests.
We have. We're not alone.
Yeah, we're not alone. We've got two guests, which is quite rare for us as well. We have got Rich and Johnny from great band Pet Needs.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Saturday, fellas.
Hello.
Oi, oi.
Sounds well radio, doesn't it?
Yeah. Thanks for coming to see us. Appreciate it. Thanks for
no
coming
worries,
down.
It's fine.
Yeah, so your manager, Rusty, is a guy I work with who is he's a fucking total dude, but what I like about him is he's properly his own man. You know, like he does he does things his way. And like,
He does.
I don't know, as you get older, you really respect that in people.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're your own person and you don't give a fuck. Like, he was making like extra long bikes.
Yeah, he saved our life the other day.
Did he?
Yeah, we were driving to a gig in Camden, and there was like a crash in front of us, like down on the A12, and there was like a few cars kind of like crashing into it, and he just went into this kind of like weird Matrix style kind of like mindset where he just kind of like cut across 2 lanes as people were braking. We were in a bus, so obviously our brakes are terrible. They had like this BMW brake behind us really sharply, which like left a gap for him to go into, and then he moved into the next gap, landed in the hard shoulder. So it's weird as well, because I asked him like, were you panicked at that time? And he said, no, I've never been more calm.
Zen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like,
mad
his
how it kicks
brain
in.
He
works
said
in
that
a
to
really
me.
weird
He
way.
said he went really calm.
Yeah.
And he noticed there was a BMW next to us, and that was going to stop quicker than we could. And then that opened up a gap in front, and then he
just went Tetris.
Yeah.
It's the-
When I used to play in a band, right, we had our managers bought us a Renault Traffic, I think it was, or one that like a minibus, and we drove it around and we drove it into the ground, and we were driving into to play the Mean Fiddler. I don't even think they do that anymore, and the brakes went. And the bass player managed to, for a good 5 minutes, to steer through traffic. Like, fucking, I'm just like in the back. I've got coats over my head. And through the traffic and just pulled up right out front of the venue.
No way,
No fucking lie, man. It was fucking amazing.
It's interesting how people react in those situations, though, isn't it? Because like every single person in that bus reacted in a different way. It was weird, from extreme panic to extreme calm.
Yeah, of course.
Was there lots of people on there?
Yeah, it's about 20 of us.
Was there?
Yeah. So we'd packed. It's like a minibus. It's like not just a van. It's a minibus that we'd filled with our mates.
Yeah.
Like all just to like had a couple of beers and stuff like that, and it was interesting.
Fucking hell.
Oh, that's a laugh.
Could have been proper Buddy Holly though. Like, imagine if you got wiped out. Fucking, like, music would have sold for millions.
That's
well, yeah.
I've been looking at
something like
like
that.
some of the gigs you've been playing, like especially like Camden ones. Like what Rusty was going, they're playing the Barfly, and I'm like, didn't that used to be the Monarch? And it's like, and like, because I played all those gigs like 20 years ago.
I did.
And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
You did as well.
Yeah. I used to
Don't
go
look
down.
old enough.
I did.
So how long has Pet Needs been going?
About 3 years now.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. So not long, but probably about 2 years properly. We kind of like had loads of stop starts right at the start, and then kind of like found it was like finding our drummer was when it first started kicking off, and then
He said, because we listened like I've been listening to you for a little while, but
Yeah,
Brad
yeah.
had a big listen on the way here.
Yeah,
He
I'd
was
listen.
Fucking drums good, isn't it?
Really tight.
Oh, he's good.
Really tight.
I mean, he's into
Joel can make a band though.
yeah. He's a kind of like metal prog kind of drummer, which is weird for punk music. But and he does turn up with like way too many.
I was going to
cymbals,
say,
like-
because some of those fills, like kind of like they shouldn't even kind of exist. Like,
Yeah.
especially on like his kicks, like,
double
like
bass
come
drum
out of
stuff,
nowhere.
yeah.
It's
No,
crazy.
Easy couple
mate.
of bass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got
Nice.
double bass drum.
Yeah, no, he's great, man. Yeah, but we're going about 3 years now. But yeah, it's all good fun, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, it looks like it's going well, man. I really like videos. I like it. Bands do that now. Make fucking really pucker videos. It makes it look really professional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes it look like you're kind of like really big. And your gigs and that look really good as well. Like especially the Colchester ones, it looks really busy.
Oh, love it. I also think like I think what's been amazing about Colchester is it's really weird. It's like it's a squaddy town, it's a military town, but I guess it's a bit like here where you start digging under the surface and you realise that there's this kind of like undergrowth of amazing life, amazing creative people, and it feels like, especially in the last couple of years, these people really come to the surface and creating really cool creative things, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown now. So there's so many gigs that are selling out in Colchester that are just local
Well, they're
bands.
selling out,
Amazing.
really.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's
That's
amazing.
the thing. If you've got venues as well, like round here in Grace, there was no venues. We had to
Right,
like, go
yeah,
to
yeah.
Basildon or something. And there's no venues in Basildon. I suppose that's the difference in Colchester. There's a few little venues.
Yeah, that's it. They've got
Beautiful.
in the last year, this one called Coda has been opened because
I've heard that.
there's a few good venues that are already in Colchester, but they're all kind of like owned by one person, so it comes a bit of a kind of like flat pack venue kind of thing. Whereas Coda is just two guys in their early 20s that just went, right, I'm going to take a risk, I'm going to get a loan out, and we're just going to do it. And it's amazing. It feels so real because they've just gone into it like 2 feet in and just like kind of, one of them's got a background in sound, one of them's got a background in kind of like running pubs and stuff like that, and they've just made something that I don't know if it's like kind of like contrived or if it's just complete mistake, but they've made something which is just so real and feels like it's ours, man. It's our home.
That's what you want. When it all comes together like that, all them little ingredients, just like you maybe can't always plan it, but when it's like you're in the
That's
right
it,
place,
man.
they're in the right place, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, no, it's a cool.
We
place.
hang out there. Like we went there on a Saturday afternoon with my kids.
Yeah,
Just
I do.
go there for
Nice.
beers. Hang
Yeah,
out.
I like
The
that.
kids can come in.
Yeah.
It's part of the
awesome.
culture then. It's part of
Exactly.
like the town. It's like part of
That's
everyone's
it, man.
little kind of community.
My partner Lorna's there right now. I'll be there right now, if not, like because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
live in town, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
about 5 minutes away from it, and it's just like it's a great place, man.
Amazing.
It's fucking hard work when you're like you play like I've said this a few times, but when you play like the bollocks gig, you go up London and you fucking tear it up, and then next day you got to go work. It's fucking really hard. It's a right hard slog when you're doing that. In many ways, like there's a lot about those days that I kind of look back on really fondly, but then there's a bit of me that thinks, fucking hell, I wouldn't have the energy now.
Yeah,
Like I used to like gig like 2-3 times a week, rehearse twice a week. It's like fucking such hard work.
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, but it's such a release as well. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah, I
We've
suppose.
got to the point where the music we do and stuff it's just a release. So it's going with people that I really trust and stuff like that. It's about stuff I believe in. So it's even though it's physically a bit knackering, it's brilliant. It's
But I like that.
best
'cause
half hour or hour of the week, definitely.
What really comes across in like the videos and that on YouTube is like the energy that goes into it.
Yeah.
And like if you go and see a band, you want to see them fucking have it.
Yeah.
You know, like that was always my faults. You know, I love Oasis, but every time I've seen them, I've been gutted.
Yeah.
I know
Because
what
they
you
just
mean.
don't have it at all. There's
just standing there
the only
playing.
band I ever saw who I thought got away with it was the Strokes when they first came out. Like they barely, like the singer would barely move, and it just worked. You know, like sometimes it fucking works.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I'm like, fucking come on,
Yeah.
like,
Do something.
like,
Jump about a
I've
bit.
made an effort here. I've made an effort to come here. Fucking give me something, and you guys
Why
have got
wouldn't you,
loads of
man?
energy.
Why wouldn't you? That's
It's
the
fun
thing.
though as
Because
well.
like, if you've got a chance where you can spend like half hour, an hour of your life where you can climb as high as you possibly can climb, you can jump into people that you know are going to catch you.
Yeah.
Like why the fuck would you
Yeah,
just
no,
stand there
100%.
just trying to be cool? Like,
That's
it's
my
like,
feeling. That's my
yeah,
feeling.
don't get it, man. Don't get it. It's such a release how it is.
Even now, like I'll play like a little gig at a pub, and I find like someone said to me, "You really like, you seem like you're a different person."
Yeah.
And it's just because I'm like in the zone. I'm just away of it. Everything else is
Yeah.
kind of shut out.
Yeah.
Standing
And
on the bar,
I
cooking
just give
glasses
myself
at people's
over.
faces. It's Toby Carvery, like people are trying to eat the chicken, you prick.
But as you say, it's a release because if you can totally give yourself over to it, It's nothing like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But if you're kind of holding back, then you're just not getting everything you can out.
No.
of it.
Yeah.
But if you invest of more what you want into it, then you get more out of the crowd as well.
Yeah,
That's
right?
it, yeah.
Well, what I think anyway.
So what do you play?
Bass.
Bass. I thought so. Left-handed.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Upside down.
Look on your thing. Yeah, I thought it was lefty.
My bottom E's at the bottom, so the G's at the top.
Okay.
So it's like
Yeah,
upside
wow.
down.
Oh, what? So
really?
Drake
Yeah.
guitar, but
Play-
played upside down.
Yeah, so-
Amazing. Have
'cause
you
yeah,
always
my
played
mate,
like
my
that?
mate used to do that.
Yeah, but I play guitar the right way up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I play so my guitar, my guitar's real strong, left-handed. They're left-handed guitars, but then when I bass is upside down.
That's amazing.
That is
But-
weird.
I just see them as two completely different instruments in my brain, in my
Yeah.
weird brain.
In my
I like
brain
that.
is.
That's so cool. That's really cool. The thing is, though, it's like muscle memory, isn't it? A lot of the time. Like
That's
for me, I
exactly what
play
it is.
guitar and then had to play bass because no one else wanted to
He
play
can
bass
play
in my band.
anything.
Not
Back
everything.
in
I'm not
like drum,
really.
he can play keyboard.
But
he can do
like, I was kind of
everything.
forced to it, so I was
And
like, well, it can't be
produce.
that much different. So I just kind of like, whatever they were
Yeah.
playing, I would kind of play the same
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it kind of feels like cheating. It doesn't quite feel, because like, I see
Yeah.
some people playing it, and they're like playing all up here and stuff. I think,
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
it
yeah,
sounds so good. But
Yeah.
it's just because I haven't really got into it as much as I would like to, really. I'd like to play a lot more bass.
The guy that we record with, Tom Donovan, is left-handed, and he's got left-handed basses. And I picked up a left-handed bass when we were recording, and I didn't have a fucking clue.
No,
what I was
weird.
doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, this is what?
Yeah.
It's all upside down. It's weird. I can play the guitar's the guitar's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing.
That's so good. I like that.
It's weird, isn't it? You go into a studio and then they've got other amps. And you're like, oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
fucking proper have it with all these other gear.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you end up going back to your own. I always end up
Yeah.
going back to my own shit because like
Yeah.
nothing sounds right.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing. I've done that before. I went in the studio, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably about 10 years ago. And they had fucking loads of guitars, just cases everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, just proper getting fucking guitar hard on. Loads of fucking amps, like vintage. I was fucking around with this vintage Vox
Yeah.
for so long. I was like, it's got to sound brilliant because they're brilliant. And I just couldn't dial it in at all.
It's AC30 or
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just ended up just going back to my little Fender.
The thing
amp.
is, we have a whole lifetime of like perfecting like this song, this guitar don't sound right with this amp,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
amp don't sound right with that pedal kind of thing. But like chances of getting it in right in the room at that time, it's really slim. Like they say, you got to go to studio as prepared as possible, like with your own sound. There's nothing worse. I've been in the room when the guitarist comes in and goes, right, I'll use this, and the engineer goes, no, get rid of that, fuck that off, like pull that
Yeah.
out, get rid of it, and you're like, oh, and then he's all uncomfortable and not comfortable
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
what he's
yeah.
playing, and it's not good.
Politics.
Yeah.
So the reason for you coming on is not just to talk about a band, is it? Because it was basically on the agenda that we're all here for, really, talking about our fucking brains.
Yeah.
Our brains and any kind of issues we've had. So you must have. What was going through your head like when on your way here, or when you thought you were going to come on about what you
today?
might talk about?
This
is Johnny. For those who are,
I'm Johnny.
yeah,
Nerves.
nerves.
Really weird because I'm kind of like I work at university, so it's quite a kind of like woke, open kind of place where people are all up for talking about this kind of stuff. And in songs, I'll talk about it, and then sometimes I'll write something about it as well.
Yeah.
And it's fine, and it feels empowering, and it also like I always try and encourage other people to talk out as well, because it's the best thing you should do, right? But then we just sat in the pub around the corner. Like we just went to the Harvester and like had some fish and chips and had a little chat. And it is nerve-wracking opening up about it when you actually kind of like physically sit in a room with someone, or it's been recorded as well, and talking about your own mental health.
It is.
Which is something I didn't realise it would be. You know?
Yeah, I guess we got used to it. Like,
Yeah.
I drew a line about a year ago, and I'm like, that's it.
What
But I-
inspired you to do it?
well, I just had a bit of a meltdown, and I just had this real realization that, like, one of the main problems was because I'm a man. So it's like, yeah, I don't talk about shit because I'm a man. I've never told my friends really what's wrong with me because, we're blokes and we should be getting pissed and having a laugh.
Yeah.
And I just had this realization that that one thing about not talking about it had made me really fucking ill. It got me to the position where I was off of work for like 5 months, and it was like, and I've been ill most of my life, and the primary reason is because I didn't really talk about it, and that in itself made it so much stronger, within me. So I'd just be coming up with shit in my own mind, as in the reasons for everything, or what. Oh, I'm thinking this, right? It must be because I'm a cunt, etc. And then once I started, just saying I just started telling my wife like pretty much everything. Like, I feel like this, or she'd be, oh, you're all right. And I'm just going, yeah, I'm all right. I go, no, I feel this, and I just fuck it. That's it now. That's it. I've drawn a line under it. I'm never going to do it again. I'm not going to hide it. I say I'm never going to do it again. I might not just kind of blurt out at work that I feel, really bad, but I've got to a point when I'll tell my manager now, like, I'm having a really fucking shit day. Like, I'm not ill. I'm just like I'm mentally having a bad day.
Exactly.
And I'll go, can I go home? And they'll go, yeah.
Has there ever been a time where you've shared but it's had a negative reaction? If people don't know how to cope with it or anything like that?
Very, very rarely.
Yeah.
The worst you get is someone. I've never had a negative reaction. I remember once when I first said, I'm going to take medication, I've got to go easy on the booze. My friends were a bit like, oh, well, what about us? We're all going to be on the booze.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of that. And I can understand that because I was like a fun guy.
Yeah.
But at worst, people just go, oh, all right. Excuses and go. Like, it really, like, this very rarely does it have a negative view. And I just think if people were then like, oh, fuck, he's mental. Like, I do think sometimes, like, in some situations, it is like, oh, yeah, Nick's mental. And I get treated differently for it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's not my problem. It's not my fault. It's not my problem. Exactly. That's all on you. It's not on me at all. I'm honest about it. And that's been really empowering, and that's made me feel better.
Yeah. Genuinely
feel better because I'm like, it's not my fault. I've got an illness, and that's it. Or it's not my fault that shit things have happened. So I swear by it now. Fucking say it, no matter what, even if it kills. Yeah. Don't keep it in anymore. So, do you talk to your missus?
Yeah, loads. She's great. But she was trained in... The thing is that my background is that I did a degree in counselling psychology. So that was kind of like, we're kind of very obviously focused on mental health. She did a background in degree in social work. Right. Speak to her a lot about it. And she's been speaking to me about her mental health a lot recently as well, which is new. It's a new situation for me to be in, and a new situation for her to be in as well, because she's been like struggling with anxiety and stuff like that, and stuff I won't go into now, but like she'd been struggling, and she's been getting better recently, which is really, really cool. And I think that's what's kept us so strong, is the fact that we've been so honest. When we first got together, the first thing that happened really, and this was about 10 years ago now, I think it was it's the first time that I subconsciously felt safe enough to just go so low. And that's when kind of do you know what I mean? Because I was like living in Nottingham before with kind of like in a place I shouldn't really been with people I didn't really like. It was kind of a bit of a dangerous place really, and I had to get out of there really, really quick. Yeah. And as a result, kind of like followed an ex-girlfriend to university and just went to this. I'd been out of education and stuff like that, just where this weird kind of like semi-squat, semi-house owned by this coke dealer, and I circumstance meant I just had to leave, so I just rang up through clearing this university and go, so I'll do history, I'll do drama, I'll do fucking whatever, and ended up doing psychology and just landed there. We split up about 2 weeks later.
Shit.
And then my brain was everywhere, all over the place. It was the best thing to do, but then it was just kind of just lived really chaotically, just lived a life of chaos. I did for a matter of months. And then met her, and then as soon as I kind of established that this might be something that'd be a bit more long term, weirdly that's when I just fell into my first diagnosed depression, and it was horrible.
I think you raised a really interesting point actually, and something that people don't generally hit on is that when you're in the midst of chaos, you've got a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the midst of chaos, and your brain is going, like, "I've got to get you there, and I've got to get you there, and we've got to eat, and we've got to." So you're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fighting, and then suddenly, like, and it might be like a relationship, and you're like, "Oh, suddenly, like, you let down your defences,
Yeah.
and like you let go. You haven't
give
got
you
to fight.
permission
and
to
then
do
you
it.
go, and then you go bang. Like when my wife had cancer, like for most of the time she had it, I was like, "Come on, fucking right, we'll get through this, we'll do this." And then the minute when it was further down, when it was okay, I went bang really badly because you just suddenly go, you let down your defences.
I can remember vividly the first time I went bang, like you say, vividly, and just I can remember it was at university as well, but I didn't go to uni until I was a bit later. I went to university when I was 34 or something.
Did you?
And I had a kid. I had my eldest now, Chloe, and I just felt under. I'd lived my whole life. I grew up on a building site, like blokes. Do you know what I mean? Like in that kind of environment. And but even from a kid, I can remember not wanting to do things because I was anxious about it. Even for as long as I can remember, I've just been really anxious. I don't want to do things. I don't know how many things I haven't done because I couldn't face it. Or whatever. And I can remember being at university, and I took my eldest daughter Chloe. I took her to the zoo, and the whole time I was at the zoo, it was just me and my eldest. She was like 2 at the time, and I can just remember thinking that I was going to get attacked. No reason. Like, obviously, no one's going to attack me. Like at the zoo.
Maybe a lion.
And sorry.
Maybe a lion.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. They didn't get out. they keep them really looked up.
They're going to get out anyway, though. They'll get out there.
Yeah, they did.
And I can remember I went to the doctor. I went to the doctor about it. I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't go on like this. And I went to the doctor, and it's the first time that I've ever thought I need to go to the doctor. I felt like this my whole life. And it's the first time I ever thought, I'm going to have to go to the doctor about this because this is now crippling. Like,
Even that's a huge thing to go and do, though, isn't it?
Mate, as soon as I went into the doctor and he said, what's the matter? And I just burst into tears.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not mental, and I'm not a danger to myself, and all this. He said, I don't think you're a danger to yourself. I don't think you're mental. And I can remember even just admitting that there was a real fucking problem. I can remember I walk out of the doctor's I hadn't had any therapy.
No.
That's when he first prescribed citalopram.
Yeah.
I've been on that for 6 years now, but that was the first time I can just remember. I just went woof. And then it was that wolf that made me think, I've got to get some fucking help.
But like, it's therapy enough to allow yourself to go and do that. Like, getting yourself to the doctors and like
I always say when
doing
anyone's
this,
having a hard time, it's like, right, it sounds like you need to go to the doctors.
Yeah,
just go to
100%.
the fucking doctor, book the appointment.
Yeah.
And then you start to feel a bit better once you book it.
But like you
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
you have that self-talk of like, oh, I'm not mental, I'm not nuts.
I'm
like
not
for
mental,
me, I
yeah,
was like,
exactly.
this don't warrant a doctor's time or like a hospital's time. I'm not
Exactly.
going around killing
But it
everyone.
totally
So
does.
It can't be that bad.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
really does. It really does.
It's just, it's like you're ill. If you're like, with anything else, if you break your hand, you go to hospital. If like,
Exactly.
your brain's
That's what I
telling you
that's what I
fucking
say to my
destroy
wife.
things, you
If
go
I
to the doctor.
if I fell over and broke my leg, I go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But when I'm broken, like in my head, I don't feel that I can like phone work and say, "Oh, I'm not so good today."
No, but you should be able to. I think it's
But
changed.
you know what?
yeah.
That kind of thing, you know, like that early anxiety. Do you know why you have that early anxiety?
No.
'Cause
I mean, I can pinpoint. I have an idea.
yeah, like I obviously have studied stuff like
Yeah,
psychology and things for my job, and my wife studied psychology as well. But I actually don't really know much about it. But I know, like normally, like anxiety comes from somewhere, obviously. But if you felt anxious in a lot of situations like that, like I recently thought that I might have ADHD.
Yeah.
And you know, like that kind of anxiety in outside of comfort zones, outside of the norm. You know, like when there's other people around, often like that's a misdiagnosis there
Yeah,
like,
right.
early on,
Yeah.
and that is why you feel anxious.
Yeah.
You know, that might explain those kind of early things.
Yeah, I can remember not going to after school clubs, not wanting to. I mean, just loads of things. I don't know why. Let's say if I'm 7, like my daughter's age now, and I worry about my daughter.
Yeah, I do. But
Like she's there's been some situations where I know that what she's experiencing is anxiety.
Yeah,
and I know it is. And I find that it's almost like I start thinking, I fucking passed this.
No.
Thing
I do that with my daughter. She gets really anxious about things. I even got to have a hypnotherapy session with my therapist, and she was like, "It's all a bit cheesy, isn't it?" I was like,
Really?
"It is cheesy, but you have to kind of let it you know, go, all right, it's cheesy, and then give into it."
Yeah.
But I kind of just came to the conclusion that like that's kids have anxiety nowadays.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Like much more than when we were younger. I think people did have anxiety. Like I definitely did, but I just think nowadays it's a pretty standard thing. The pressures are completely different.
yeah.
And I just think I do think social media has some impact.
It
on
is
that.
a different world.
It absolutely has. I think that
It makes you reflect
social
on
media
yourself
does.
a lot.
It does, because and then you get like that girl's not going to fancy you if you don't dress this way. That kid's not going to think you're cool if you don't listen to this music. There's loads of this is external pressures.
But we would have had that, and I'd certainly felt that.
Yeah, but we would have dressed the same because you've dressed the same, and we would have dealt with it in the room. They're dealing with it when they get home, when they're on the bus.
Yeah, exactly.
In their face all
and
the
that's
time,
the thing,
kind of
because
thing.
normally, you get home and you can switch
It'd be
off.
regulated. Not saying necessarily it would be, but like there's a chance that someone would say, "Oh no, don't be silly." Like no, you can see they're all wearing them, so we'll all have our haircuts the same kind of thing. Whereas like now they're doing that, and then like Kim Kardashian's like one scroll away, or like whoever else is one scroll away.
You said you were talking about the zoo thing, and you almost talk about it like a before and an after kind of thing. Like that was the time where things changed.
That was
How did you feel 2 weeks before that incident?
Yeah, was there a build up?
I think I was going through. I think because, like I said, I just started university, so I'd lived. I was a builder from 15. I've been in bands and things like that, but my main thing was like being a builder. And there'd been such a huge change in my life where I was now studying, so I was now becoming educated. I was now, not that builders aren't educated, you know what I mean?
But you weren't earning money either.
I wasn't earning money, no.
That's another thing.
That was another added,
like that,
yeah,
because you had a family.
Yeah.
So there's this whole other fucking added dimension of stress.
Because the same thing happened. In fact, the next time that I had and I was in crisis, looking back now, I didn't know I was in crisis at the time. But when I left, when I graduated uni, because I was still working part-time on site, and then when I graduated uni and I got a job at a building surveying practice in London, and I was in fucking crisis, like almost existential, like thinking about it now. There's a picture of me. Didn't know I was going to talk about this. There's a picture of me and my uncle. Yeah, we went for a family weekend away in Brighton, and there's a picture of me and my uncle, and I'm sat next to my uncle, like smiling. 2 minutes after that picture was taken, I took myself off, bought a load of scotch, and took a packet of painkillers and downed it with scotch, and I ended up in a hospital in Brighton.
Oh really?
And I left a note saying that I'm a burden and I can't fucking do this anymore.
That's what it does to you, though. That's what it does.
So it's crazy but at the time I didn't. I genuinely, I'd like looking back on it now. I'd never think of doing that. But and looking back on it, it's almost like I'm looking at somebody doing that.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
What was the lead up to that?
I think that I'd left all my mates. I went from seeing all my mates all the time to not seeing anybody. I was drinking a lot. I was working in the city, so it was like expected to go out for drinks and things after work and all the rest of it. And then it just and I wasn't seeing my kids because I used to get back at like 4:30 in the afternoon when you were building, like you finish earlier. Wasn't seeing my kids. I had 2 kids now, so my second daughter had been born. Exactly.
Like this, it's meant to be. This is meant to be the answer.
Yeah,
it's not the but like,
it's not the answer.
It's not the answer.
I thought that when I got this big powerful job in the city, everything would be taken care of.
Yeah.
And if anything, it made it worse.
Yeah.
It's so true with all my shit, mate. It's fucking unbelievable. Yeah.
Because you're like, this is meant to be it. Like this is the answer, and then it's not.
No.
And you're like, oh fuck, what do I do?
Exactly. This was it. And it's not.
It's a transition of identity as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I struggled.
exactly.
I struggled a lot with that from being on site with my pals. Work, you know what I mean, like tool belt on, down the pub Friday. Do you know what I mean? And then to be sitting with a shirt and tie, commuter.
It's a completely different world, different planet.
It's completely different. And I was 36, 37 at this point. So it's all I.
But even like say in your head, you've got that linear kind of thing of like, I've gone to school, I've been on site for a little while, fucking I'm in an office now, so it must be sorted. Like for me, I had like one of the smaller meltdowns was when I did that, like become an engineer, got a van, and then I had a desk at an office. I was like, fucking hell, I've made it. And I remember thinking, and one of the other blokes was like, oh, like, come round. I was going to pick up something or other. No, like come round their house. I was like, fucking hell, it'd be like, it's really nice, like 4-bedroom house, like a couple of motors on the drive, like really cracked it sort of thing. And like no offence to him whatsoever, but like he had like a little 1-bedroom place and he had like 4 kids in it and it was like Rottweiler and stuff like that. And it was like it was my preconceived idea of it. Like he's fine as he was. I love Andy to bits, and I've got no problem with that whatsoever. My preconceived idea, when I saw that wasn't what I thought, and he was like top engineer, it fucking spun me out. I was like, fuck, what have I signed up for here?
What's this?
I've invested my life.
There's something really dangerous about, and it's something that we're fed as well, because it makes us buy more stuff within the capitalist society. Totally. But there's something really dangerous about us viewing life as linear as well, because either 2 things are going to happen. Number 1 is that you don't reach that certain milestone that you've been told that you have to reach to be happy, and then you'll kind of like feel crushed. Number 2, which is probably the more dangerous one, is kind of what you were talking about just then, is that you'll reach that milestone and think, right, this is the point where I should be happy now. And you realise you're not. No. And then you realise the whole thing's like a sham, and then it like crushes around you again. It's that kind of like we're sold this idea that happiness is always just one more step away and just out of reach, and it just makes us passive consumers. Really.
It's funny. I was listening to Radio 4 right on the way home today, and they said about there was someone talking about wellness, which basically they're talking about like fitness,
right?
And they were saying that in that they've always got to be selling it one step ahead. So it's always got to be aspirational. You've always got to not be quite there.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they're not selling anything. Otherwise, everyone's got it and they don't want it.
Exactly. There's always got to be. If you don't smell like that guy's not going to fuck you. If you don't wear that, then that guy's not going to think you're cool. If you, it's crazy. It always.
But you do get to a point. Like I've certainly got to a point now when I don't really think like that. I do occasionally, like, if I get a new guitar, I'll be happy.
That is a killer guitar.
And it worked.
I know it's but you know that kind of like I try and just be happy with what I've got more often than not, and think I'm doing pretty well. Or I try and like when we've done good things with the podcast, we're like, fuck it, we're better chucking our jobs, and it's like, no, don't think like that. Just think, haven't we had some really great experiences? And I enjoy the experience.
I think the problem with the podcast is that you get, it's the same with us on Spotify, you get instant statistical feedback.
100%. I'm tempted to delete the app.
So you're like,
that's it. We're gonna like this could happen.
And
this could fucking happen.
Like, as soon as we get X amount of 1,000 plays on this, we'd have done it then we'll be happy. And then I hit that and we're like, no, life's exactly the same. Like nothing's different.
Yeah, we did exactly that. Our last milestone was 10,000. Once we hit 10,000, mate, we're gonna crack it, and we've been doing this.
It's funny, I watched this. There was. I watched a music documentary about the band Smash and these Animal Men. It's it's not the best music documentary, but essentially what it was saying was like they kind of, you get your dream, you get the elusive record deal, and it's like, life's meant. That's it. It's fucking strippers and fucking. I could be Motley Crue, and it's like no, actually, like that. You're really lucky if it goes to that extent. Actually, you might do a few tours and then go back on the buildings.
It is.
That's true, though, isn't it? It's that thinking, because in some respects you've got to have some of that thinking. Otherwise, you won't fucking do anything. Like you've got to put yourself out there for good things to happen.
And they're not rest on your laurels when good things.
Don't rest.
Got a record deal now. That's it.
Working.
You've got to.
That's how I see. That's how I see my mental health. It's like every so often I'll be like, I'm doing all right. sit back, I'll just get pissed a lot. And then I'm like, no, I'll stop working on it.
Yeah.
Got to keep working,
I do
because
this-
if you don't do anything, nothing will happen.
Oh, mate, that is so. I do the exact same thing. I go through these phases of. I got a fucking killer band. I got a beautiful wife. Got 2 beautiful girls. I got a really good job. I love it. Like everything's sweet, and then I forget about it, and then, it's like getting fit, and then stop working out, and then you put on weight. Or do you know what I mean?
And then your
It's
brain
the
starts
exact-
telling you the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Exact opposite. You're like, you fucking cunt brain.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that now?
My
And
feeling
you're like, it's
Yeah.
true as well. And then you're like, no, it's not true.
I start
I
feeling
forgot.
good. I have like a little line of start feeling good. I start having like herbal teas, no coffees, drink like full bottles of water and everything like that. And I'll only drink on Fridays and think, fuck it, I'll have a bottle of wine to celebrate. I'll have another bottle of wine, loads of crisps and that. Wake up on
And then
Saturday,
you
it's
feel
like,
like
oh,
shit.
what have I fucking done that for? Like, there's no need to do that.
Yeah.
I think back to the time when I felt good, like about 20 minutes before I fucking drunk it all, and then the rest was just the same as it used to be.
Moderation.
Not
Do a
fucking
little
bothered.
bit and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true.
But don't fucking cane it, because then you'll start feeling like shit.
Yeah.
Always do.
Fucked it up. Took too much.
It is
So what
nuts,
happened,
yeah.
Johnny? When you had a crash after when you settled,
Yeah.
and then you had a crash. What was your crash? What did it look like?
Oh, mate, see, it sounds super naive, because like the things that always like I still find it really hard to understand the world. Basically, understand like how we allow it to happen. And like when I was living in that place in Nottingham, I was kind of like hanging out with people that were fucked up, but people that were like anarchists and thought they were going to be leading a revolution. And I was like, the world's fucked up, but we're going to change it, and we're going to change it properly with a proper fucking... It sounds like now I know, like it sounds naive, but it's like we're going to change it with
That
revolution.
sounds cool
and we're
to
gonna,
me.
Yeah, you know, but that's what we like genuinely believed it. And then it's when I kind of like got to university and realised, because I've just been living in the Midlands and stuff like that, and like my world was very small, but it felt very, very big. And then I moved away and just realised how small I was, and how like I wasn't just going to be like holding a petrol bomb or waving a flag at the front of a fucking parade, going to like overthrow the monarchy or something like that, you know. And
It does need overthrowing.
but then it just got to the point where I was thinking, right, well, that's not going to happen. So what's the point in fucking point in university? And then suddenly it's like, what's the point of going outside? And then I think the worst thing for me, which I think is controversial as well, was getting diagnosed. When I got diagnosed with depression and put on citalopram, same as Rich and stuff like that, that just gave me like complete freedom to just drink loads of bottles of Strongbow in a day and go, look, well, so I'm depressed, so I'm not going to come out of bed. I'm going to have these big, but like I was poor, so like just big cheapest bottles of cider possible. I go, well, I'm depressed. That's what I am now, and so that's what I'm going to be. Do you know what I mean? But also, I've patches where I go back as well, because the thing is, like, I went to counselling and stuff like that, and then they asked me if I wanted to go for a diagnosis of bipolar type 2 as well, which is where you're either kind of like you're crashing, or when you're high, your brain's really, really firing. Really, it's not the kind of like you don't go out and have big spending.
Full on.
Yeah, you know, it's not really dangerous.
There's
but
been talk about me having that. at
interesting.
times.
But I didn't go for diagnosis because I didn't want that self-fulfilling prophecy again. Because I know, but like maybe it is like that. I don't know. But yeah, I still have those patches where I do crash. But then sometimes when I do crash, it's almost like, right, I'm gonna fucking crash now. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna self-destruct, and almost when you tick that little self-destruct like box or whatever, and you go, right, fuck it, it don't matter now. Let's just go. And it's horrible. Especially I'm horrible to be around as well. But it's, I don't know. It's almost. I know it sounds really kind of counterintuitive, but almost feels freeing to be that self-destructive.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's really hard. Like, I've never spoken about this before.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Do you know when you go, I'm just
really
I'm just depressed. Fuck the world.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I do not give a fuck,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna get fucking wankered and fucked up.
Yeah.
And I mean, since having kids, I've been much better. But I have been known to do the same.
Yeah.
It's only been the last few years where I don't do that. Like, it would be like, I haven't got to go to work. I haven't got to go to work. Right, I have to get really wankered every day. And once everyone's gone to bed, I'd be up all night just fucking throwing booze down myself and just thinking, oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I just go bang, crash.
And then because you got kids, you get the guilt.
Yeah.
No, I get guilt
Next
that
day,
I'm
mate.
not.
Next day.
I'm not helping
if
them,
I
or I'm
do
not
that-
doing my share, and I'm not like engaging with
I
them.
can't look at like if my daughters come in and like, Daddy, get in bed with me, and I just feel like a fucking failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your dad is really fucked up, and you deserve much better than me.
I'm like, I've turned into my dad. I'm being distant.
Yeah, the thing is, I know I'm a good dad. I'm a great dad, and sometimes I look at them and I just want to cry. Like you fucking.
You know
deserve
what?
better than me.
And this is kind of what I tell myself in relation to both of the things you said. Really, now, and it has taken. Like, I've been ill since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So now, I just think, yeah, sometimes that like, so if I'm not hurting anyone,
Yeah.
like I might have a self-destruct day, or I might have a really shit day when I don't get out of bed all day. But as long as, you know, like 80% of the time or the rest of the year, I'm fucking doing what needs to be done, and that's all right.
Yeah.
So I don't punish myself, and it just seems, for me, it just really takes that power out of it. You know, it's like, right, it takes the guilt out of it. It's like, I know I do everything. I'm all right. I'm not a cunt. I'm all right. But today, I'm just, you know, if I go out with my mate, we'll get fucking trashed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, today I'm not. And then the next day I'm not. I'm in bed. And it's like, I don't do that very often, but when I do, I'll do it properly.
Yeah.
And I'll let it all out. And I just think, I just don't punish myself for it.
It
That's
is powerful.
the total difference.
To allow yourself to do that, it's almost like the breakdown of it, allowing yourself to break down, allowing yourself to be in the bed and drink cider all the time, like allowing yourself to go to the doctor and get medication and everything else. It's that kind of, it is freeing. And 9 times out of 10, it's because there is some sort of oppression, like from somewhere, not even consciously, but there'll be something. It's when that kind of release goes, like we are only human, we're not machines, are we? It's like, we should be allowed to like have a little day off every now and then, really.
Yeah.
But I think what happens, because you're not telling yourself off for it, that doesn't end up being days and days and days. Because then it turns into well, I'm really shit, so then I might as well just...
Oh God, yeah.
So then you don't do that quite as much, because you're like, wow, it's just a day, innit?
Yeah.
And you just kind of I step out now I step out of it quite quickly. But that used to, that could turn, in the past, that could turn into a year. That'd be a year's self-destruction. I've done 10 years of it before.
I still, if I have a big weekend sometimes, I just beat myself up, hate myself, like just hate myself for weeks, just.
But if you could take the hate out of it,
get over it. Like, I just
but we're the worst for Sunday beers as well, aren't we?
Yeah,
that's the thing. We'll have a big night on a Saturday night,
really
like really a big day, and then a big night, and then like we both wake up feeling awful, and then there's one of us will just go to the shop, get a 4-pack, and then suddenly the Sunday's a big Sunday. And then you arrive at work,
and then you feel
like,
awful
if you arrive at work.
Days. I used to regularly be like 4 hours late for work if I went there. Like that's when I was doing like music. I was late for work all the fucking time, and that was because I just fucking just killing myself. But I just think, if you could take the emotion, like I keep saying this at the moment, though, but if you could pull the emotion out of things a bit, then because why can't you just get fucking wankers like one weekend a month? You don't need to feel bad about it. That's fine. That's totally allowed. In life, that's allowed. And as long as your wife's all right with it, or your other half's all right with it, you just do it.
That's the thing. It's when it's a cluster bomb.
And then you don't have to beat
when it
yourself
affects
up.
other parts of your life.
So nowadays, I'm like, I'm going to get really fucking wankers because I'm going to a festival. I'm going to be really shit for a few days. I'm really shit. She's like, I know. Sorted then, and I do it, and then I do it guilt free, and I have a better time for it as well.
Yeah, I bet.
But
how do you feel when you're not doing so well, and like obviously
I keep smoking, by the way.
That's all right. My wife knows when I'm not doing so well. So now my wife, she's kind of learned to not ask me every 5 minutes. What's wrong? What's the matter? Is there anything I can do? Like, because that just compounds it sometimes.
It's that thing. Sometimes, I find when you're at work and someone goes, "You okay?" And I just want to cry.
You just want to go. I'm really fucking
bored. You go, mate. I'm fine. No problems whatsoever.
So how if you're not doing well, and when other people approach you and ask, "Are you all right? Are you all right, mate?" How do you what?
I think if it's someone you're really close to, then after at least two, are you all right? And you go, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
And if you're not all right, by the third one, you have to say, no, I'm not all right,
No,
and this
I'm
is why.
I'm not. Yeah.
Because all the time you're going, I'm all right. What invariably they'll be thinking, I've done something wrong.
Yeah,
Everyone becomes a
yeah.
victim straight
Have
away.
I pissed you off?
So they'll
what
be
have
like,
I done?
I've done something wrong, and then they'll be going, he's got no right to behave like this because I've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So you're both then twisting it around.
That's exactly. Yeah. That's
so
exactly
you're better off just to go and just go fucking easy win. No, I'm not doing all that all right. I don't really want to talk about it at the moment, but like when I feel a bit more together, I'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah,
and that's what I do.
it's interesting. See, I can't do that at work at all.
No, but you can't do it at work. But if you can do it with your missus,
yeah. Oh yeah, we're so
then
honest
that's
with each
all
other,
right.
but yeah.
I can't do it at work. I might actually. My boss is really cool, and only because I had to fess up to being mental.
Right.
Because otherwise I'd probably got the sack.
Yeah.
So now I will say, no, I'm really not having a good day. But I think if you've got one person, at least one person in your life where you can go, no, I'm not doing that well, then you can kind of, at least you know, like when you're at work, it's like, at least when I get home, like I can actually say, no, I'm not doing all that right.
Yeah, I'm not having a good one.
But I just think you have to say. Like, you have to say. Like, they know you're fucking mental. You're on meds. Like, you're a card-carrying mentalist.
Yeah.
You just go, no, I'm having a really shitty day.
It is a bit like a superpower, isn't it? Once you kind of get to that point where you don't give a fuck about anyone else, you're like, oh, do you know what? Fuck it. I'll say it all. I used to always say what I thought the other person would want to hear.
Right, yeah, I'm there.
And then I would find myself when I was really young, I would say the things I wanted to say. Oh, I'm doing this record thing, and I'm doing this music, I'm DJing this thing, like ego, just would pour out. Because that's a lot of the time what I thought other people want to hear. And to be fair, that's what I would want to hear from other people 9 times out of 10. Probably a bit shallow, to be honest. But like, it's only really been definitely in the last few months, probably the last few years. And we were talking about this the other day. Like, I try and make an effort to like ask people first, then get that conversation going.
I'm getting.
It's not
better,
easy to do.
I'm getting better at recognising when someone's not having a good time.
Yeah.
Rather than keep on asking them if they're all right, I'm getting quite good at just saying, I think I've said it to you before.
What's going on?
Like, I know that you're not. You like.
Yeah,
you know that I'm backing off. If you want to talk, then fine. If not, I just want you to know. I know
exactly what you said.
It was a cosmic puffin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I just said,
Like,
look, Johnny wasn't having a good time. I knew he wasn't having a good time. I can just remember saying to him, look, you know that like I'm here. If not, fine. If so, then good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes it's nice
leaving
offering
that space.
someone to not
Perfect.
speak to.
That's leaving that space, because otherwise, if it's, oh, you can talk to me, you know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But so is there anything you want to say? Well, no, not really. Because I feel really fucking pressured.
You're not letting me fucking talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like giving someone the opportunity to talk. Like quite often, you just kind of sidle up with someone and go, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
I was saying like that, like, "What's going on? Like, you all right? You don't seem all right, really."
Yeah.
Like, you do know I'm fucking mental, don't you? Like, you do know we can talk about shit.
In the club.
I'm like, you do know, like, I'm one of the fucking. I'm there. I'm there with you.
I think it's
That's
like, I
what I
don't know
do.
whether it comes with age or whether it's because obviously we're all quite like-minded kind of thing. I find in music as well, people are quite like-minded. But how are like the dynamics in the band with talking to each other? Because you both seem to be able to be quite open with each other.
Yeah.
I think we are. I think our drummers, I still can't work him out because he's the nicest guy in the world, but he's the most confident man that I've ever met. Like just blind confidence.
That could be quite scary.
Drummers are a different league, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's
where from another
Drummers
planet.
seem
I
to
love
just have
drummers.
their own idea of things. Like I've met some really arrogant drummers, and I'm like, I really don't know why you're so arrogant.
Yeah,
Like,
see, I don't know if he's arrogant, but he's just the most confident man I've ever met, ever. Almost to the point that I don't know if he's got the depth of emotion.
Oh,
He's probably going to listen to this, Jack. But it's just blind confidence. My brother, who's our lead guitarist, is a really interesting guy because he works he teaches. Yeah, it's my little brother. He teaches kids music for a job. Like he goes, so he
Amazing.
teaches them how to be in a rock band, and then like they practice for 6 weeks and do like a little gig in
I
assembly. and
love
stuff.
that. That's
Oh,
right
it's
up my
so
street,
cool,
that is.
man. And he'll
Yeah.
walk out in front of hundreds of people and do it and stuff like that. But he gets this real kind of like contextual anxiety. So like we'll turn up to say like our EP launch. Actually, this is a real example. We turned up to our EP launch, and he's the lead guitarist in the headline band of a sold out gig. And he sat in his car for 20 minutes before I turned up because he couldn't walk into the venue on his own. So he just got that real anxiety. But it's interesting because he watched I watched and then I passed it on to him, a documentary about the comedian Rod Gilbert. And he has the same stuff. He has that kind of real anxiety where he'll walk out on stage, he'll do an amazing stand-up set, but then he can't just go get a coffee on his own. And that was the first time that my brother ever realised. First time he ever realised he had that kind of anxiety or that kind of like extreme shyness was through watching this documentary.
Thing is, it's a human emotion. Like
So
culture
interesting.
would say, "Oh, he needs to walk in with his guitar on his thing,
course.
wireless,
Yeah.
like just walk straight in
Yeah.
and do it."
And when he's
But,
on
like, everyone
stage, he will.
reacts to- yeah.
When he's
that's
on
it.
stage-
As long as you don't have to speak down the mic.
Yeah.
As soon as he has to speak down the mic, and if my guitar's ever broken or something, I'm like, I feel time. He'll panic.
Yeah.
He can't.
Wow.
He can't speak.
I
Well,
used to be like that though. I used to like play gigs in front of thousands of people, but I couldn't talk to a girl.
yeah.
Like just exactly the same.
Yeah.
And,
Can't hold eye
and I'd
contact.
be frightened someone would talk to me, or I couldn't really have it out with anyone.
It's
Yeah,
exactly,
in the
exactly the same as what you're describing me. It's weird.
I think
It's
you're
exactly the same.
if you're only social or most of your social kind of like time is being in a band, you can be shy with it because it doesn't make you be social because all the people who want to talk to you afterwards want to talk to you about you,
Yeah,
basically.
that's true, yeah.
And they'll come up and go, the first thing they'll do is come up and go, oh, I really enjoyed that, or oh, can I buy something, or can like you sign something or something like that. And you're like, oh yeah, cheer. And then you can just start straight away. Whereas if I have to go to something like Lorna, my wife, if I had to go to her works do and I had to sit down with people and then start a conversation,
Yeah, scary.
fuck me, it's fucking horrible.
Oh, yeah.
So I think,
it's an amazing paradox because that's really true. Like if they start talking to you about your band, you're like, oh, all right, we're all
well, I
right.
know this,
Yeah.
and then you can be interested in them and stuff because it's bouncing off the back of that.
Yeah.
But like, small talk's
I
horrible.
can't speak to people before gigs though, because I get such bad.
I used to
I
keep
yawn a
myself
lot.
set.
Yeah, I can't. Fucking hell. In fact, going back to George, I wasn't having a very good time on Saturday. I was outside the venue we played in Brixton. I was just like vaping or whatever, and George came out and said, "You all right, mate?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just in a funny mood." And he went, "You know that." He did exactly the right thing,
Lovely.
Yeah.
and just said, "You know that I'm, if you want to talk." And I messaged
So
him the next
cool.
day and said, like, I was all right. I was just a bit.
But I
fucking-
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
It goes such a long way, though.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
that level up from you right, mate. It's just
That's
that
it.
little extra thing.
Yeah.
And you
I used to
never-
hide before gigs, though. But I
I
used to
fucking
think.
hate
I do
speaking to
after.
people before gigs.
I do
I
after,
hate it.
and I think it makes me seem arrogant sometimes, which I feel like because what's one thing Rusty always says to me, he says go straight on the merch desk afterwards, go straight on the merch desk, and I find it really hard. I need to get away from people.
No, it's
Yeah.
important to be who you are.
I know, but then
Like,
I have
it's
that
right,
anxiety.
as in
I'm
you're
sitting
gonna
outside
sit
on a wall outside on my own, just taking some deep breaths, going, okay, the gig's finished, and then in my mind it's going, do I look like a prick now because I've just walked straight out the venue, and it's not a
No, you
arrogance
don't.
thing
You
at all.
don't.
And then
your
I'll
bit.
go and I will speak to people, but I need to gear myself up to go and do it.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I used to hide in the van and drink wine.
Oh yeah, that's what me and George do.
I
That
used
as
to
well.
hide in the
I
van
remember.
before. There was a bit of me that thought it looks a lot better when the band walks straight on. It's not very punk rock. But like if a band like they haven't been milling around, then the first time they see you's on the stage.
Yeah.
And then, but then I was always fucking such a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
Like, we'd finish and I'd want to get on the booze.
Yeah, so I'm the opposite. I don't want to go in the booze. I'm the same with that. But like, I'm the I think it's awesome when you see someone that's in the front row and then suddenly it's their turn and they walk on and grab the guitar and it's their turn. And that's
also
what I like
is
to
very
see. But then that's what I find it hard to do sometimes.
I just think, I feel quite, I've really, really settled into that I'm a creative person now.
Yeah.
This last year, I've just gone, I'm a creative. Everything else is fucking peanut butter. It just doesn't, everything else doesn't really matter. And then what I've learned is I draw all the time. So when I draw, I've learned that sometimes I can't fucking draw for shit.
Yeah.
So I just don't. And then sometimes I draw loads and loads and loads, and then I just do.
Cool.
So I've just kind of learnt that you just have to go with who you are, and and all the time you're being honest to who you are. Then I think it's really important. If you're being honest and you haven't got anything to apologise for, so like after a gig, if your natural thing is to get away for a bit, then you get away for a bit, and like no one tells you otherwise. You know, you're like, no, I'm the fucking creative. They came to see us. You know, I just fucking bust my ass out there and did an amazing gig. I can do what the fuck I like, actually.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not hurting anyone.
I'll get on that,
So I'll do things how I need to do it because, you know, I'm the creative fucker who makes it happen.
When I've had friends in the music scene or people in other bands as well that if I do go outside and sit on a wall, it's not all the time, but it is about 70% of the time. If they come and find me afterwards and I have opened up to it, there's one guy called Jim. I don't know very well, but he's from the Colchester scene who came out and saw me and had a chat with me. And we spent about half an hour talking. He was so understanding about it. I thought he was going to be like, oh, why'd you always go outside? It was a bit of a dick move or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. And then suddenly he just opened up to me about it as well. And I think it's really cool.
I think it's quite rock and roll, though.
Yeah.
It's like, I think rock and roll is about being yourself. You know, essentially, rock and roll is just about being yourself and like, you know, and fuck everything else. It doesn't it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think there's something fundamentally rock and roll about that, and I like things that are rock and roll, so I'll go with it. I just go with it. I'm like, so what? What? Like, you haven't gone out and done anything bad to anyone, as long as you're not hurting anyone. You do. You go with what feels right.
I suppose it's like worrying about what people think. And that kind of, it's that self-talk, negative self-talk thing. Oh, people are thinking this, people are thinking that. But 9 times out of 10, if you could have a camera on the inside, people just having a drink,
people don't give a fuck
or whatever.
No, that's it.
But if that's what it takes to give you that 10 minute, and you go in after 10 minutes, and then you're back up at how you need to be, kind of thing, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I've said so many times, you know, like you go over things in your head and you think, oh, people are thinking this, no, I'll do this, and people are thinking this, or even my wife's thinking this, and 9 times out of 10. They're not fucking interested.
They
do not give a fuck because they're like, actually, I'm doing my own shit. I've got my own handful of things to do.
I obsess over that. They're thinking this, or if somebody said something, somebody just said something, I obsess over what they've said. Like it doesn't. It happened on Saturday. This is weird saying this. I said, right, I'm just going to play it like this. I'm not going to do this Matt Freeman thing over it. And Johnny said, "Yeah, but we didn't want it. We didn't want you to play like that anyway." So you said we didn't want you to play like that anyway. And then now I'm like, "Oh well, fucking fuck." Why did how? You know, oh fuck! Like, and it was weird. It's just a throw of it. It was because I wasn't in a very good place anyway.
The creative brain is fragile as shit,
man.
Yeah,
it's really but you're fragile because like when you do music and you do art, like you put yourself out there, and you're being like, and you're being honest.
And like, even if you bad what he said, but you just obsess over it.
You bastard! You shouldn't have said that.
See, no, it's like dominoes now. So I'm going to go home and think about that.
You've talked about it now.
Exactly.
The thing with being in a band is you're thrown into that kind of cooking pot of
bands don't talk though.
Out in the real world, though, you can't always have that confrontation. Like people might work with each other for 5 years and not have the opportunity to go through that stuff.
Don't do
in bands, you're thrown into it and you've kind of got to get over this thing or fuck off, basically.
I found though, playing in a band, no one would very, very rarely ever go, oh, that was fucking, like, what you did there was good. You know, like, if you're recording or something, and like, you're like, oh, just come on, it's fucking amazing. And I'm like, oh, it's fucking, look, they're going to be buzzing. And then you go in like, back into the studio room and everyone's like, that was alright.
Can you do it again?
And it's like, bands don't go, that was brilliant. And now, like, and I still play in a band, so now I'm like, that's fucking well good. It's very rarely, like, and I think because I've been doing it more, like the others might say it back, but generally bands don't. I found like I think bands have been.
We're pretty good at saying when something's awesome because we know it's awesome and we're comfortable enough to know that what we're doing is good. After gigs, we could play like the best fucking gig, but we're just not the sort of band that are going to be like fucking sucking each other's dicks after the gig. Like, oh, you were incredible, man. Like, it's not really that.
Yeah.
I suppose there's a buzz of knowing that you've done well.
Yeah.
And like,
we all know.
I think when we've won someone over, It's good. I think it's like I think the worst thing is when you're pushing a shit idea in band practice, and everyone knows it's shit. Oh no, the worst thing is when I think that everyone thinks something's going well, and I'm like, this is going shit, this is going shit, and then my brain will just explode and go, no, it's wank, don't want to do it anymore, don't want to do it. And my brother was like, oh, could we just give it a go? And I'll just shut it down. I'll be like, no, can't do it. We've probably lost so many good songs because I've just gone, no, it's shit. No, and I just can't do it. I just cannot. As soon as I've built that wall,
but then it's accepted. Then I think that's like accepting the creative process. If at that point you're like, I'm not digging this, you've got to stand up there and sing it. So it's like it's not going to happen. Let's do something else.
Yeah, it's got to be right.
And I just think it's had to be fucking up front and go. It's not going to happen, man. Yeah. But and you're like, all right, well, we might be able to use. And like, quite often, I'm normally like, oh, that song's it's not working. But that bit's good and that bit's good. Maybe we could do something with those bits. I do like playing in bands, but it is a weird little world.
It's hardcore, but then it gives me. I think it gives me focus. I think it's one of the another things that's really good for mental health is working towards something. Yeah. I don't mean working towards something aspirational kind of sense we were talking about earlier. Yeah, but like going, right, when's the next gig? Like my job, I put on events for a living, so it's like, all right, when's the next event working? That brings its own anxiety, but then also you're always looking forward as well. So
It's
the band's a bit like that.
I think it's about having achievements.
Yeah.
Like it's really important to achieve stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be much, you know. Like it could be when you're feeling really, really shit and you feel like your life's awful. You know, getting up, you know. But but it's important to be achieving all the time because then that feeds your ego and it makes you feel better, and then you just generally feel better in life.
Yeah.
Like I think, like for me, like you know, work is it's not my life. You know, I've got other things that I do this and I do artwork and I do music and like that. So it's like my life is all of those things. Yeah. And it's really important to have those other things.
I find that hard as well.
If it's just fucking work, you're like work is very rarely gonna fucking really meet all your needs.
I get so obsessed with work. So I work at Students' Union, put on events and stuff, and it's a similar mentality to a gig where you're building something, you're trying to make something really cool and you want to make something absolutely perfect, and then they do this thing. If anyone's listening, I think it's a shit idea from work. They do this event satisfaction score. So you're putting on an event, and then you've got people walking around with iPads asking people like, "Can you rate from 1 to 10 what you think is good about this gig?"
Why do they have to do that?
I can understand it, but like it's
psychometrics.
Yeah. So you got so you're hoping that you can push the big fireworks event you did from an 8 to an 8.2 or something like that. I hate that. I hate it. But then
how do you quantify people's feelings?
No. One of the bits of feedback on the last one was I don't really like fireworks. What? Well then, I don't know how I'm going to win you over, mate. Sorry.
Amazing.
But I've got a really supportive team and stuff like that though. But I think that focus on stats at work really hits anxiety.
Yeah, I can't be doing stats.
It's horrible because I hate it, and then I'll kind of like tell people I hate it, I'm not going to listen to it, but then I obsess over it at the same time.
Yeah, you were saying that about Spotify, like, and Brad and I,
we
we get our numbers through from Acast, and there was a point when I was looking at it like 10 times a day.
Yeah.
And I barely look at it now. I'm like, wow,
1 hour.
That went really fast.
It did.
I'm kind of happy to carry on if you want to carry on chatting. Are you in a rush to get back?
Yeah, no, no rush to get back.
Should we carry on?
If you want.
Should we do it as another episode, even if it's short?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Let's go for a piss.